Hey there, Chris Bassett here, and I'll be showing you how to set up Botrix for your Kick channel. In my opinion, Botrix is probably my favorite bot to help moderate and create funny interactions with the chat for my Kick channel. So, we'll get started. I'll put a link down in the description for the Botrix homepage, but it'll actually moderate all of these different channels, Trovo, Twitch, YouTube, Kick, and Discord, but I like using it specifically with just Kick. So we're going to use that. I'm going to go ahead and log into Kick. I'll allow it access, and we'll get right in there. You may need to do some initial setups. So obviously you'll need a Kick channel, and then you'll need to probably do some initial setup with the Botrix account system. But anyway, so you will notice that once you're logged in, you can check your profile in the upper left-hand corner. It's in Spanish right now, but you can switch it to English. So switch it to English. Something else to keep note of is that you can modify your profile to change your profile picture, blah, blah, blah. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see that your platform is Kick. You can change that to do any of the other platforms. So if you did want to, use Trovo, Twitch, YouTube, Discord, TikTok, or Gilded, you can sign in with those accounts and then link it to your Kick account. So, like I said, for the purposes of the tutorial, I'm just going to do Kick. It's my favorite thing to do. So once you're all loaded in, everything looks good. We'll go down the left side list and we'll kind of talk about stuff that you can do with the bot itself. So over at the alerts option, here you'll be posting in this widget URL for your streaming. So if you use OBS, or in my case, I use Meld. See, right now I'm streaming, but you'll be putting like the Kick alerts in there, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. So you can also see that, the alert boxes have 6 different types of alerts. So like say you're streaming, you get a subscription, you can set that up so that the subscription, how it looks on the screen, how long the alert lasts, the animation that the alert has, and then you can put custom images, or you can put these preset images. So I'm going to move my face real fast so you can see what I'm talking about. Right here, these blue and green boxes, if you want to upload a custom GIF or a custom image, you can do that here. Or you can use the blue box to choose from pre-selected stuff. There's also default. They'll have default images in here and default sounds. So, for me specifically, I did create some custom sound bites. If you use the suggested sound bites that are in here, you can also go over to my instance and choose, bruh, yeah, boy. You can choose all these preset sound effects, but keep in mind that some of them have copyright. So if you are taking your stream VOD and uploading it to YouTube or another platform, you may get some demonetization issues that occur where you have to share revenue or this and that. So, but if you make your own custom stuff, then you can upload the image here and upload the sound here. All right, here is the voice text to speech. If you want a robotic voice to read the messages, you can choose, the appropriate language and country, dialect, and it'll read that message, whatever the person's name is, subscribed X amount. So it'll read that message in a robotic voice. For the text and color that shows up, since we are talking about the subscription alert, it'll say, so-and-so subscribed for however many months. There'll be a little set. You could put optionally a little image pop up, like an explosion or whatever, and then a noise effect. And then it'll say, thanks for the subscription. You can also put like what type of font the image is in, and then the positioning of the text and the other stuff, where it shows up on screen. How the text will wiggle, like the animation of the text, font size, and then what it says. So, for example, my subscription notification will say, so-and-so subscribed for X amount. And then you can also put in some alert variants if you wanted to do different variants. You can make multiple of the same. So say you have a subscription notification. Maybe you want to cycle through 4 different variants and set them randomly, so it's not the same message every single time. You can do that here by adding 4 different variants and then tagging it as a random condition, or you can make it like greater than 1 subscription. Say they're a 2-month subscriber or a 3-month subscriber, so you can change the conditions a little bit, so you can have some variant in your notification. But then you would just save it, and so the same thing applies to all the different options. So you can do your subscription if someone purchases a subscription. If someone gifts subs, if someone follows the channel, you can do that. If someone hosts, so like you get a raid, which would be the equivalent of like a Twitch raid. If someone tips or donates, and the difference between a donation and a kick is purchased on the platform with money, and so has its own system that it goes through. A donation would be like your PayPal link or a link outside of the Kick platform to donate money. So you can configure all of those. You just make sure you tab the correct one to make sure that you are configuring that particular. You see there, donations to PayPal. That way you're configuring the right one. And then when you're ready to test the alerts. All right, so in order to test the alerts, let's go ahead and paste the widget URL in there. You can just hit the copy button, and then over on your streaming software, you would punch that in. So you'd add a new layer. OBS is pretty much the same as Meld. You do browser, and then you would go to the URL, paste it in, and save it. And then you can just hit the test button, and you see there it showed up on screen for the viewer. Now, keep in mind that the alerts would go wherever you place them or however you set them up. So they look pretty good. I like to keep it kind of nonchalant on the channel. But you could go all out, have explosions, have GIFs, have sound effects, horns. Burr, 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 burr. You could have a bunch of crazy stuff going on if that's what you wanted to do. All right, so we'll go ahead and go to the next item on the list, which would be widgets. So these, you can add widgets in the same way, where you'll add a browser source, you'll choose this, you'll copy this, and then paste it into your broadcasting, whether you're doing OBS or, like I said, I've been using Meld. It seems like it works out pretty nice. But then you can dock this to your OBS. Same thing. The widgets all have like a different ability that they can add to your stream. You'll put this on the screen, that way viewers can watch it. So you can have a chat overlay window into your streaming broadcast. So that way this will show up like you put it in the corner of your screen or whatever, and it'll show up. You can set up all the different options, the font size, how long the chat stays on the screen. Once again, you'll copy that and paste that in your streaming software. You can have a request song queue. So if you place music on stream, chatters can request a song. You have donation goals. This is like a little animated bar, and you can change how this looks, but you'll put this down there. It'll kind of help viewers know you're like, hey, I'm looking for some donations to hit a goal. You can conduct some draws, which would be raffles among the chat members. Emote combo, so when you send the emote combo the same times, it improves chat activity. It's just a different way to look at the combo. Extra flashy lights on the screen, basically. Same thing, you'll just copy the URLs, punch it in your OBS or your broadcasting platform. The emotes on screen, this will show like bursts of, here you go, different emotes on the screen, so extra icons. If you have that, you can have an explosion, so when somebody gives a donation, this is a premium settings where you have to pay for it, so I opted not to, but you could potentially have, like, say somebody donates $50, all these things explode on the screen. It gives the viewer a little more interactivity for the money spent. I always read stuff on screen anyway, or stream, excuse me. Okay, what else we got? We got event labels, so you can get a text of your latest events. Okay, so this will show up on the screen. You preview this, and it'll just I don't know if it's not a like banner, like a scrolling banner. It's just the last follower. I guess you could have last subscriber. You could make the labels different, right? So that way, if someone's spending money to support you on stream, it'll show them that you recognize them. What else we got? We've got follower goal, same thing as before. The donation goal, follower goal. Also, you can post this widget on screen and let people know without saying it that you're looking to hit a goal of followers. Same with the kicks. Kicks goal, same thing is the donation and the follower goal. Just another icon you can put on screen. Here you can conduct polls among the members of your chat. So, for example, like if you want to play games in a sequence, they can vote on what game to play. So, to create the survey, you simply type /poll in the chat and follow the steps on screen. This way, you can your viewers can vote on certain actions in game. Usually, I just talk through the microphone and then I read chat. So this is a little redundant, but could add to another layer of like interactivity. The shout out and the subathon are both in the beta version, so I don't have access to those. But you have a subscriber goal, just like the other follower goal, kick goal, same thing, puts a bar on the screen where you're looking for subscribers. And you can modify the colors and shape or whatever of those bars. You can add a cup to your stream, which would show like donations. So this would be like a little animated icon when people are donating things because it encourages them to fill up the cup. So it's just another widget, another visual thing you can put on screen, which is a different option. There's a lot of interesting things you can put on there. All right, and the text to speech allows viewers to listen to texts. So here's the language settings. You can choose whichever language, English, Arabic, Bangladesh, German. There's a lot of different options. So these are all, AI voices that would read the text out loud. But the command would be !S. And then you can have a minimum role. I would not give this to everyone because everyone in chat would be spamming filthy nonsense. But it could be fun. You can set the volume, background volume. And then here's some settings that you can modify. So you can ignore numbers, symbols, emoticons. You can have a character limit, a cooldown. So it'd be like, for example, whoever sent it says this, and then it would read it out loud on stream. So it could get pretty chaotic, pretty funny, maybe worth putting on there. And then you can blacklist any users that abuse stuff. So I'm not going to put this on my chat just because I know what they would say. And I like to take the VODs and repurpose them for the YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel's, the primary focus here. So anyway, let's take a look at the next. We've got text to speech, could be interesting. You've got a viewer counter. A viewer counter is just another brick you can throw down on the screen, and it would show how many viewers you have. As before with all of these, you need to take the widget, copy it, and then paste it into your streaming software for it to function. And then you could, do some tests and things to make sure it's working fine. And then Wheel of Fortune is in the beta. I don't have access to that. And new widgets. So you can visit the Discord here and then see, suggestions and talk to the members of the Discord. All right. That covers all the widgets. Let's go over to the chatbot. And this gets interesting. You will need to put /mod Botrix in the chat. So back over on your Kick channel, you'll need to type in the chat down here. You will need to say /mod. Botrix. And since I've already done it, make sure you spell it correctly and make sure it's the right one. It should have like the verified check mark, but you'll want to mod it. That way it'll give it access to, mod your channel or perform actions on the channel. So some of the moderation, you can, turn these switches on and off. I'm going to move my head again. Move your face. So these sliders here, turn those on and off so you can prevent caps lock. If people are putting links in the chat menu, you can get rid of that. Emoji protection, so if people are spamming emojis or symbols or offensive words, you can go into the setup and you can blacklist certain words that you don't want put in the chat. My opinion is everybody can say whatever they want. If it gets too crazy, the chat gets too crazy, right? I'll just kick them out or ban them or block them or whatever. But for the most part, the moderation has a minimum level, and so even though Kick is more of a relaxed platform when it comes to chat, it still will block certain words automatically, and you don't really have a option on moderating that. But okay, so after the moderation is done, you confirm it to save anything. The name, if you pay for premium, you can change the name from Botrix to something else. Okay, the commands get a little interesting because you have both your commands that you've set up, and then you have default commands. So let's take a look at the default commands first. So any of these commands, just read through the list. You will type exclamation point in the chat of your, of your chat, and we'll say, I don't know what I got. One of them. This is one of them I set up, but then the bot will respond with that command message. So you can see, so you have to be a moderator to do some of these, but you can add commands, delete commands, edit commands. Further down, for example, the follow age, it's this user's been following for such amount of time. Levels, and the points have to do with the loyalty system. So I'll go over that here in a second. Just adds a little more interactivity you can put onto the stream where people level up and get points for chatting and interacting. But these are all pretty basic, and they add a little bit of interactivity to the channel. Shop would also take an effect of the loyalty system, and top, watch time, and XP. So for custom commands, okay, so this is going to get a little in depth. If you look at the custom commands, I have a couple on here. We'll just look at this one real fast. So what I would like is I want chat to type, /Mensa or /ruler /spam spirit animal, and these all do something different in chat. So if you take a look at it, you can look at these variables. So come up to this variables, and it'll show you all of the different variables that you can get into, and it'll kind of give you some ideas as to what you can do. So for example, this is where you can get creative. Read through this. I'm going to try to keep the video short. You can read this on your own time. But for example, I have it set up so @sender has a random number between 65 and 125 IQ. So when someone in the chat types Mensa /Mensa, the bot responds with whoever typed it. So my name has 109 IQ, and then the little emojis. So it's a fun way to get the chat to engage, to interact. The reason I know what the emojis are is I'll put a link down in the description to a paste bin page that has all of the emotes that you can punch in here from Kick. So if you go to your chat, all of these different emojis, like angel, angry, astonished, they all have a code that is associated with them, so you can get these to punch in there. I'm not sure about your own custom stuff. I don't know about that. Or some of the global stuff is the same. So you can put these into chat, and That way it will display, and I think they're interesting. I have this one here on a timer. So every 15 minutes, Botrix just spams the emoji DJ to help chat kind of keep amped up. Here you go. Okay, so you'll come over to kickdatabase.com/global emotes, and this will give you the number associated with the emote and the name. So once you pick one out that you like, then you can set it up so it looks like this. I'd put it in there just like I've got here within the brackets, emote colon the number or digit associated with it, and then the title. And so that'll give you these emotes in chat. But for example, some of the interesting like variables that I punched in. So if you put /random and then a number, it chooses random numbers between those first and second digits. So it'll choose a number between 65 125. The ruler command. So @sender has a random 0 to 12 inch, and then so it chooses these variables here. It has random list. So if you put random list, and then you put either text or images here, separated by semicolons, it'll choose one of these at random, and display it in chat. So, for example, there you go. So right now it put in that I have a 1-inch PP with the eggplant emoji and then the emoji. So just another way to interact with chat. Let's see what else you got. Spamming. Okay, so here, when the user types spam in chat, it'll pick a random user and then random list. So instead of images this time, it's like short phrases. Now keep in mind you've got a limited level of characters you can put in this box, but so it'll randomly pick a chatter and then tell him let's go, or what did he say, or rip bozo. And so it's one way to create a little bit of chaos, a little bit of randomness in the chat. You can make aliases. So if you don't want it to be just spam, you can make it whatever other words you'd like this command to be associated with, spam or fart or puke or whatever. But you can set this up so it's a price. So this is in accordance with the loyalty program. You can make this cost points. So that way you don't just have random people coming into chat and then using all these commands. You can charge the points, so like only your most valued chatters have access to this. So it's another way to kind of incentivize people for coming in, watching, chatting. I think I have on this last one. So this is supposed to be basically like a Chinese zodiac. So you type /spirit animal, it'll send your whoever chose this. So it'll be that person's name and then a list of different names or adjectives. But keep in mind, you do have to put this semicolon in between all of these. So this is all, I found this all in the variable page. So like I said, you head over to variables, read through all this, and it'll show you, or not show you, but it'll explain, how to apply some of these different coding systems to get different outcomes. But there's a lot to read here. These were just some of the ones that I did. It's how creative can you be with it, and so I'm always open for suggestions. But anyway, so those commands kind of covered. Let's go over to timers. So here, timers. You can make this as simple or as complicated as you want. Basically, you set up an interval for the bot to spam messages. The most common messages I see from other streamers would be like, go follow my page, or it's basically like, instead of you verbally talking about it while streaming, the bot just brings it up. So you would type in a message here. You can put links here. Keep in mind, this basically, it has to be a text. Like, I thought it would be fun to have commands. So it would do like different commands on a timer, but it doesn't work that way. It's only text and then a timer. And so once that's in there, it'll just spam that out. Like I said, on my channel, it's just spamming this emote every 20 minutes or 15 minutes. And then here over on extras, you can set up chat alerts. So I definitely do that. These text alerts will actually show up in your chat box on your stream. So the bot will actually repeat it back here. So that's helpful. You can have a follow, a kick, a subscription, gift, raid, messages sent out. So yep, I've got all those set on the change, or I got all those set up, and it looks good. I like it. I can read it right out of chat. Voice messages. This is actually just back on over on the same widget section that were just in. So you can set up that text to speech if that's what you want on the channel. Let's see. So we were over at Chatbot. You've got clip commands. So you can set up the clip command for you or moderators to make clips on the channel. Let's take a look at that real fast. You got to install the extension. So you got to get Chrome. I got to switch to Chrome. Oh my God, I'm definitely not doing that. But you can set that up so that you can do clips and stuff. I do all my clipping after stream and just go through and I clip everything out and with CapCut. So pretty easy on my side. But that would help maybe streamline things a little bit. Hey, if you try it out, let me know how it goes in the comments. There is a level system, a watch time and point system, and the ranking system, which are all tied into the loyalty stuff. So we'll get to that in a second. Here you can reset the rankings. But I got both of the level and the reward point stuff set up for chatters. It's a fun interaction, kind of a leaderboard. It's a little competitive. And then you can also import commands from Nightbot if you have Nightbot, which I don't. But okay, we're going to check the next one. It's a profile. So that's just whatever this was, the home page. Sign in. Now keep in mind, if you are switching between different platforms, in the upper left-hand corner, it'll show which platform you're making changes for. If you're using it on, Twitch or YouTube, but I'm strictly using it for Kick. So that's all that page basically has. I think it does have maybe some updates and stuff you can read. The devs are making changes. They put posts here. Okay, now for the loyalty page. Okay, so this would be the loyalty system. You can see you've got some chatters. They've got points. You get a higher level for more chats, and then you get those points. You can then take those points and you can spend them in the shop. So you can set all this up. But okay, let's go back to the ranking system just real fast. I'll show you how that works. This is what the page looks like, but actually how you activate that is if you go back to your chatbot and you look at the commands, the default commands, it'll tell you in here, you can check your points by hitting !points. You can check your level by !level. !shop activates the shop, and top. So !top in chat will bring up the website. So you go !top in chat. It'll spit out a link. You can click that link, and this is how you can view your channel's ranking system. So everyone that, I have it accessible for all the users. They can type this. They can see, hey, where am I even at? Am I even on here? I'm not even on my own system. Let's see. Let's go to the next page. Okay, so I'm not even on there. I suck in my own chat. But anyway, that'll kind of give some competitiveness and then encourage chatters to, view and watch. I also have that set up on my actual About page. So on my main Kick page, you go to the About section. And so I have a leaderboard panel set up. And that panel actually has an image. I did an image. But then that same link right here that's in my chat, can you guys see? Let me move my head out of the way. But you can actually use that same link and post it in the image link. And now when you click that, it'll take you there. So you can see how the arrow is normal on my mouse. Now it changes to a finger. It means it's clickable, and it takes you to that same page. So a little bit easier way to get to that same page. I also did the same with the channel shop. So that's set up now that you could go over to your chat. You could put !shop. And there you go. So it'll bring up that same link where you could click and then you can visit your shop. So it should bring up the shop page. Then once you're in the shop page, we'll go into the shop page. I'll show you how to set this up. Let's take a look at it. So we'll go over back to Botrix. And you have your loyalty options. So you have the where you can see ads. You can see all that. You can mess with the settings over here. So you can choose, the default order, how much points you earn per minute. Then you can show the top 50 or however you want to do it. But over on the store page, this is where you create custom rewards to use the channel points with. So your viewers can spend the channel points on these. You can set it up so you can do a lot of different things. You can have images, sound effects, text to speech, but it's a widget, so you'll have to, copy this and paste it into your streaming platform program, and it'll work just like any other widget works or alert works. But for a free account, you can only have 6 of these rewards. I think if you pay for premium, you get 50 or something. But let's just take a look at the first one. So you can edit it. You can edit the command. So when someone punches !ruler in the chat, they'll bring to the shop page, and then you can spend 5 points to use that, to redeem that reward. So you just put a description, of the item. And then I just took a screenshot of a ruler and then uploaded it to this icon. But you can see, you could have a temporary amount of items if you wanted to control, how many points could be redeemed or how many rewards could be redeemed. The cooldown, duration of how long it's on the screen. And then if you wanted to have any rank or level, if it has sound effects, you can control the volume. But here's where you'll punch in the actual, what the reward does. So like I said, you could have an image, so you could have it play like a GIF or a photo or, something on screen. Audio, so you could make sound effects. You could create sound effects to be rewarded. So I did have for a while, I had where people could redeem, different sound effects that I made, and they would play on stream. You could have their message played. So it would just have a text come across the screen. You could have one of the rewards be a command. So that way, which is what I'm doing right now, my ruler command I created, or the Mensa command, they spend 5 points to use it. And so you could choose that as an option. And then the JavaScript and the talk to speech, I don't have access to since I'm not a premium member. But you could potentially have, viewers spend points to get their message, read by an AI bot on stream. So you would choose that, hit the plus, and it would, come down here. And then you could insert you could choose from the pre-selected stuff that they give you, or you could download or upload your own suggestion. Then you just save it, and it would be in there. So like I said, you have 6 total that you could create as a free player as a free account. So, okay. The sales register, that just shows, who's been buying what and for how many points. So it just kind of keeps track of that stuff. But yeah, the loyalty system is pretty good. I like it. Like I said, I've got my own kind of settings here where I manually go in and I'll put in, 500 extra points if you subscribe. Plus you get exclusive emotes for the channel. And then you can also donate kicks. Right up here in the corner is the kicks. So you can get kicks and you can spend those on the channel, which is, will help support the streamer. And you also get some points that you can spend from the channel shop. And then channel commands down here. I just let the viewers know what they can punch into the chat bar to get the bot to spit out random commands. So we'll go over the gambling slots and roulettes here in a second, which is also pretty fun for the channel. So go down to integrations. Let's change that back to English. It's on Spanish. So this is all like if you were to have a Discord server, and so you could connect your different accounts, like your Kick account, or that way when you go live, you could have messages sent to your different platforms. Like I said, I'm not doing that. I'm just doing Kick. But okay, so here's your mini games. That's the next one on the list, and that would be the games that I was talking about. So roulette, gamble, and slots are free. Dueling, you have to pay for. So for example, I'll go over the slots. Click on it. You can set a minimum roll. So if you want everyone to be able to access it, sure. But the command would be !slots, !gamble, !roulette. But you can set the price, the cooldown, and then you would just punch that into chat to see how you would do. So !slots. And it spits out, a strawberry, a grape, an orange. Sorry, I lost 25 points. So it's just a fun little game that you can do with all three of those commands. And I think that is it, boys. I think the interaction, this is, I don't have access to either of the beta stuff. Song request allows your viewers to request songs on your live stream. Let's just take a look at that real fast. So you can set this up. That way people can click on it and then request a song if you play music on stream. What else? Referrals, documentation, alerts. I think that's it, boys. I think that's pretty much, that covers just about what we've got going on. I think, I'm enjoying Botrix. It handles 90% of the stuff on the channel. If you're interested, stop over to the Kick channel, check it out, see what it looks like, type some funny stuff in chat. I'll be playing, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. So come over, say hi, and got some questions, shoot them at me. Anyway, hopefully this was helpful. I appreciate everybody for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later!